Well. I am not surprised that Haas has decided to sack a certain Russian driver and has actually shortlisted 4 to 5 drivers for the vacant seat in the team beside Mick Schumacher. Who are those drivers and why this particular Russian driver is sacked? Well, come back to Zaim's channel. I am Zaim Iskandar. While I was scrolling down my Instagram and Facebook timeline, suddenly on the official Formula One page that I follow on both of the social media platforms, I saw breaking news. Mazepin's face and the headline title has sex Mazepin. SACKS. Yes. So I am not surprised that they did it because they are an American team. Yes. This issue actually started around 2 weeks ago when the Russian government decided to bring in all the Russian troops into Ukraine and invade Ukraine. The fact that all Russian sports, from football to motorsports to even the Olympics, but the Olympic and FIA have decided to allow Russian drivers or Russian athletes to participate in their respective sports. Okay, that was a good choice by both of the organizations. I mentioned this in my last video also, but the main agenda about this video is the sacking of Mazepin, Nikita Mazepin. Yes, from the Haas drivers lineup, and it's the first time that no Russian driver since there will be no Russian drivers since 2019 or 2020, maybe 2019 in F1. Yes, they will not be racing because they're sacked. So in last week's video about this issue, the UK Motorsports actually banned him from entering the UK to participate in the British Grand Prix. Now, less than a week later, has actually decided to sack him and also terminate the contract, the sponsorship contract that brought in money for the team starting from last year, because the year before that they were actually having problem with their finances until Mazepin came in with a whole lot of money from his father's company to keep the team afloat. I think they would struggle this year also with finances after they terminate the Yukari sponsorship, because according to a few sources, that his father is close to Putin. Okay, I can't pronounce his first name for some reason. Putin's first name. So that's why they decided to terminate the sponsorship and sack Mazepin. So this vacant seat beside Schumacher will be filled by one of these four drivers. Okay, I'll make that 5 to me, because PS3 is also in the running. He's an Australian. And yet, who's the other 4 drivers? Okay, Hulkenberg, the German, Callum Elliott, the British driver, the Italian driver, Antonio Giovinazzi, and the Brazilian driver, Pietro Fittipaldi. 5 drivers: Australian, German, British, Brazilian, and Italian. Okay, so I have a feeling that Giovinazzi will still be racing in Formula E. So it's only between these 4 drivers, excluding Giovinazzi. Yes. So yeah, as I told you guys, they actually shortlisted 4 drivers, and they actually shortlisted only 4 drivers, and all of the 4 drivers had driven in F1 races before, but not PS3. So yes, so hopefully we can see a new face. PS3, PS oh sorry, PS3, yeah, PS3 is in the running, but I think the Alpine team has to release him from their development program for him to race. Yeah, or they might need to discuss with Ferrari, or the safest bet is Hulkenberg, Pietro, Giovinazzi, and Elliott. One of these 4 drivers they will have to pick for the seat, and out of these 4 drivers, only one is not contracted to a team and also to a reserve role for any F1 team on the grid for this year. For last year, yes, I think it was Aston Martin, because the year before that Aston Martin was actually Racing Point. So yep, yeah, only one driver, that's Nico Hulkenberg. So the other 3 drivers are basically from the Ferrari's development program of Ferrari Drivers Academy program. So they would get a seat, but Ferrari might need to pay the salaries for Giovinazzi's salary, because I think Giovinazzi is earning around €1 million last year, around €1 million last year, or just over €1 million. So they might need to put someone experienced, or Haas can call up Pietro Fittipaldi to replace Mazepin, or can bring up Elliott. Elliott is also a part of the Ferrari Drivers Academy program. So yeah, with Elliott they might not have an issue with paying him his monthly wages, because I think paying Elliott's wage and Pietro's wage is cheaper compared to paying the Giovinazzi's wages, because that might cost over €1 million. So because he was earning around just over, I think just below or just over €1 million when he was driving for Alfa Romeo, Sauber Alfa Romeo racing team, the last couple of years. So yep, Ferrari might have to cover half of his salary, or if he can not get out of a contract from his Formula E team. They are only down to 3 drivers. Yeah, so as the Brazilian driver, the British driver, and the German driver. So Hulkenberg, Pietro Fittipaldi, and Callum Elliott. I'm just repeating those names. Yeah, just repeating. So yeah, hopefully Hulkenberg can get a seat, because I think in 2020 and 2021 he did a good job in the car, replacing Stroll and Checo Perez in the Racing Point team when they contracted the COVID-19 virus. So yeah, he did a good job, even though in the 2020 British Grand Prix it was a last minute call for him to drive. He did not even enter the practice session the day before, but he entered FP3. So he actually had a problem with his seat during the session, the FP3 session. So yeah, well, I am not surprised. Yeah, now I think they are down to 3 drivers in the shortlist. I don't need to mention their names again, because I have mentioned it a few times in this video. And yeah, sad to see Nikita Mazepin not having an F1 seat, and hopefully Haas F1 team does not run into trouble with the finances. If they manage to sign Hulkenberg, maybe Hulkenberg can bring a few of his sponsors. Uh, yeah, Dakra, Dek, Dekra, Dekra. I think has terminated his sponsor. They are sponsored with Hulkenberg, but he can bring other sponsors in with him because he's a former pole sitter. He's also a former podium finisher. So yeah, sadly he has never won a race in F1 yet. So yep, good luck to all those three drivers. If one of those three drivers gets a seat, so it might be a surprise if they decide to take Giovinazzi in to replace mm, mm, to replace Mazepin. So all those 3 to 4 drivers, or 3 drivers, at least 3 drivers, will be partnering Mick Schumacher. One of those 3 drivers will be partnering Mick Schumacher. So yes, I hope that the team can last in Formula One for this year. Yeah. So with their finances, it's not cheap to enter F1. It's not cheap to maintain an F1 team. Trust me. And good night, and see you on my next video.